Hey traders, welcome to my channel. My name's Créde and I'm a high performance psychologist and a trading performance coach. And this is your trading psychology caffeine hit. So in the same space of time as it takes to drink a cup of coffee, you're going to get an insight into one aspect of your trading psychology and a practical, actionable tip that you can implement straight away in your trading in order to see results. And today we're talking about how your expectations can actually be decimating your trading account. Before we jump into that though, I just want to let you know that if you're interested in diving deeper into this content, I do have a free training that will teach you how to achieve 100% discipline and serious consistency in your trading, but without relying on willpower or endless hours of practice in the market. So it might sound too good to be true, but I promise you there is a system to help you to get there. So if you want that, just click on the link in the description box below and you'll be able to get instant access to that training. Let's jump into our topic for this video, which is how the pressure that you heap on yourself can actually cause you to underperform in trading and ultimately cost you money. So the top three areas that I've seen where traders actually have unrealistic expectations that trip them up in their trading are the following. The first one is timeframes. So it's no problem at all to have a big ambitious goal, like you want to be consistently profitable, you want to make millions from trading. Those goals are fine, but when you set them against an unrealistic time frame, you're setting yourself up to fail. And we'll talk about why that is in a second. The second area where I see that traders really struggle with creating unrealistic expectations and then suffering from the pressure they put themselves under is around the theme of losses. So sometimes traders interpret a loss as some sort of reflection of a failure on their part, rather than just taking it as it's part of the game. So if you're trading, you're like a casino, you're going to take some small losses, but when your wins are bigger and this pattern plays out consistently over time, you will ultimately be profitable. So it's part of the strategy. But a lot of traders have incapacity to accept loss, and they take it as something personal, or they take it as a reflection on their ability. And when it happens, then they start deviating from their trading plan, and then their actions in the market after that point compound the error, or they make the problem worse. So that's another area where traders' unrealistic expectations can actually trip them up. And then lastly, something that we all fall prey to quite often or from time to time is comparison with others. So if you're at a certain point in your trading journey and you're comparing yourself to traders who are that bit further ahead, you're definitely going to create an unrealistic expectation on yourself and therefore much more pressure. But you may also find that you're comparing yourself to people who you consider to be peers. So maybe they've been trading for the same amount of time and you see that they're further ahead than you and you start comparing yourself. That's absolutely going to heap the pressure on and cause you to underperform. But let's look at why these interpretations or why these kind of mindsets can actually disrupt the actions that you're taking in your trading. So how does pressure affect your performance? Because all of these different things that I've talked about there cause you to feel under more pressure, and that's what's key. As soon as you start feeling under more pressure, your cognitive processing changes. So it can change in a number of different ways, but some of the key ways that can really impact your trading are it actually slows down your decision making. So when you feel under pressure, and you might feel this physically in your body, starting to sweat, you might feel it mentally, so you're starting to worry and you're reminded of your fear of taking a loss or whatever it is. As soon as the pressure kicks in, your thinking actually slows down. So the quality and efficiency of your thinking decreases. And if that happens, you can imagine that when you're in the market, ready to spot your entry and take a trade, if your cognitive processing, so if how your mind is working is just a fraction of a second slower, it might cause you to hesitate when you see the entry and then you miss it. So it actually impacts your decision making. And another way that pressure can affect your thinking is that it causes paralysis by analysis. So I'm sure lots of people can resonate with sitting there in the market and feeling a bit of pressure, feeling the pressure maybe heightening, and then thinking that, God, is my strategy actually working? Maybe my strategy is wrong. I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm doubting myself, the strategy, and I'm doubting how I execute it. And in that moment of doubt, again, you've missed an entry or you're late exiting a trade, and that delay, because you're processing too many things at one time, so you're actually analyzing too many things in your mind at one time, that costs you money. And then lastly, pressure makes you more susceptible to emotionally based trading. And obviously everybody knows that that is something that really disrupts your trading performance. So if you're trading from a state of heightened emotion, and this is true actually in any area of life, if your emotions are very heightened and very charged, then the actions that you take are less rational. And so if you're under pressure, it's going to actually like press the button on any of these subconscious beliefs that you have around money or how you feel about yourself and your self-worth linked with your trading. All of those subconscious limiting beliefs and issues are going to get magnified, and that will cause you to make much more impulsive trades or to take more impulsive actions in your trading. Okay, so now we understand that we can create pressure, so we can actually interpret things in such a way that it heaps the pressure on ourselves when we don't need to do that, but we do it anyway. And if we do that, it affects the quality and the speed of our thinking. And obviously that impacts our actions in the market. So if that's what's going on for us, then how do we solve it? What can we do about it? So here are 3 quick tips that you can try and implement in your trading right away to try and dissolve this issue if it's something that you struggle with. And the first one is to actually change your interpretation of pressure. And that might sound a bit strange, but let me put it to you like this. If 2 traders who have the exact same training, the exact same money on a trade, so they have the same amount of risk on, they're trading the same size, all of that, and they're both in that situation and they're both feeling the pressure, but one person interprets it as something positive. So this is something that means that I'm, sharp and ready to perform. This pressure is like adrenaline for me that's helping me to sharpen my focus. And then the second person maybe interprets pressure as something negative. So this pressure is, I hate pressure. I always crumble under it. I make mistakes under pressure. The interpretation of that exact same situation is different for person A and person B. And in that case, the person who interprets pressure as a positive is going to fare much better. They're going to actually be able to withstand an optimal level of performance despite the fact that this pressure physically exists. The person who interprets it as a negative is actually magnifying the impact of the pressure. And so that way that you interpret this in your brain can actually directly impact your actions in the market and therefore your profit or loss. And the way then or the practical takeaway from that is to ask yourself, how can I flip my interpretation of pressure around? How can I coach myself to start believing that pressure is a positive thing that actually brings out the best in me? If you can interpret pressure in that way, it will really unlock your trading. The second tip is to actually change your definition of success. So too often, this is one of the most common challenges that I see in traders. People are focusing on the P&L to the detriment of everything else. So they focus on the outcome, they focus on how much money they made today, they focus on whether it was a red day or a green day. And in doing that, you're actually, again, increasing pressure. So when you have an outcome focus, and this is true whether you're a trader or you're a professional athlete or in any other high performance domain, as soon as you're focused on the outcome, then you can't be present with the process. And that actually heaps on the pressure and then creates this chain of events that we've talked about. So if you want to actually deflate pressure and become much more resilient to the effects of it, you've got to switch from an outcome focus to a process focus. And what I mean by process focus is that you actually want to define success as the successful execution of your trading plan. If you're measuring yourself and holding yourself accountable to how well you stuck to your trading rules, how well you executed your plan, and you're not defining your success in trading by how many trades you won that day or how much money you made. There is a time and place for that, but that's on a much longer time frame. So just from a day-to-day perspective, if you can switch your focus and define success, not by how much money you made, but by how well you executed your trading plan, just that switch from an outcome focus to a process focus is going to make a huge difference to your trading. And you might say, okay, Créde, that sounds great in theory, but how do I go about doing that in a practical way? And my answer to that is effective goal setting. So I bet if you're somebody that focuses on the outcome currently to the detriment of their trading performance, you're going to have a lot of goals on a day-to-day basis or even on a trade-to-trade basis that are all focused around how much money you made, whether it was a red or a green day, and other outcome-focused variables. But basically, it boils down to your P&L. if you're someone that does that, try and set a goal that actually focuses more on the execution of your trading plan. So pick a part of your trading plan that's really crucial for your trading. So it could be your quality of entries, making sure that the trades you take fit your A+ setup criteria, whatever it is, and use that. So track whether you do that consistently. Let that become the definition of your success. And if you use goals that have a more process and performance-based focus as opposed to this outcome focus, you will absolutely be able to pull yourself into a state where you are not feeling under pressure, where even if the pressure is on, you're seeing it as something positive, and you're laser focused on the execution of your trading plan. And if you implement all of those things, you should definitely see quick results in your trading. So I'd love to hear how you get on. Drop a comment in the comments below if you try this out and if it works for you or if it doesn't work. I'm always interested to hear feedback. And if this content helped you, please like this video, share it with other people, and subscribe to my channel for more tips like this. Thanks, and see you next time.